That is the truth. What we are talking about and what they are after are Marxist principles. They are right now teaching in school critical race theory. The left is reintroducing the same segregation that they had decades ago, okay? They are looking to foster race hate. When they see a crowd like this makes them nervous.
Yep.
Yesterday, I had pretty much every news agency in America contacting me, asking me about this event. The first two questions they wanted to ask me, they didn't want to ask what this was about. They didn't want to ask why so many minority Americans were showing up D.C. in support of law enforcement. They wanted to ask who funds you. They're already working on a narrative that you guys are paid protesters to be here. Okay? Yeah, ridiculous. They said, how could they afford to all come to D.C.? Who's funding this movement? Okay? Because they genuinely do not believe that blacks and Latinos can make decisions outside of the leftist indoctrination, right? When they're expecting so many of us to abide and be emotional and watch the images on the screen and say, oh my gosh, that could be me. I have to get up, I have to riot and loot and burn down my own neighborhood. Then they wanted to ask me about COVID-19. If you saw me on Twitter, you saw how I dealt with that. We are not, if you see any press asking you a question about COVID-19, you can tell them to shut their mouths, okay? We're not those kind of minorities that are so stupid that we're going to play a part in your narrative that you are trying to attack this president and pretend that he is responsible for a pandemic, right?
A plandemic.
We demand a more honest conversation about what is happening in inner city communities.
That's right.
In places like New York City, where shootings are up over 200% from this time last year because they are actively defunding parts of the police officers.
Killing black lives.
They actually said, oh, here's what we need to do. We want community development. I don't want community organization.
No.
I want the police.
Yeah.
Right? You can call your community collaboration community center when there's an issue. If someone breaks into my home, I want somebody that is armed and on the side of the law. Okay? If I'm facing an emergency and I'm facing an issue, I want to be able to call police officers. I don't want to call community organizers or take a new look at it. I was disgusted when I was watching these debates of our country. You know, we don't endorse explicitly any candidate at Brexit, but I will say that watching these debates, are you guys watching them? Make some noise if you're watching these debates. It would seem to me they only care about two things, right? COVID-19, right? Because 200,000 Americans have been killed by COVID-19.
7%.
Where was that energy when hundreds of black Americans and Hispanic Americans die every single weekend in inner cities? You want me to be afraid of COVID-19? You want these people who in one day can watch 60 people shot in their neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, right? And you don't ask any questions about that. They say you're not allowed to talk about black on black crime, right? You're not allowed to talk about it. It's racist to have that conversation. They want to talk about a pandemic, but they don't want to talk about the issues that are going on in our communities. They want us to be afraid of police officers. I think this year, 9 unarmed black men, just so you guys have the facts on your side, were shot and killed by police officers. That's less than white Americans. That's less than Hispanic Americans. And yet this narrative that you're seeing, you would think, right, according to the news stations today, that black Americans, if we right now are sitting here, police officers are lining up because they just want to kill us for no reason. Right? That is the narrative that is out there today. Is that happening? No. If you're a minority American, you have a higher chance of being struck by lightning, okay, than killed unarmed by a police officer. So why are they doing this?
Fear.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing any of this?
Fear.
Why do we have the left attacking not just police officers, attacking men in general? This modern feminist movement. Boys can be women, women can be men, confusing our children.
Toxic masculinity.
Why are they doing this?
Control.
I'll tell you why they're doing this. What all of this is about, what all of this Marxism is about, and you're right, it is evil. If you read Karl Marx, you know that he was an avowed racist. But he understood something very, very simple. If you want government to be omnipotent, if you want to grow government, if you want socialism, which means that the government becomes God in your life, you have to undo everything in a person's life that gives them structure. So that means they attack faith. They mock Christians. They mock people who pray. They don't want you saying the Pledge of Allegiance, right? They don't want you, now they're saying, oh, you can't sing the national anthem anymore. It's racist. What? Are you crazy? In fact, when we get to the White House, we should sing the national anthem. While all the cameras are there, there will be no kneeling at a Brexit event.
No.
Right? They want to remove that. They want you to hate that. They want to destroy families. Very simple. If you don't want there to be a strong family structure, what easier way than to say, men don't be men, fathers don't live in the home. We don't need men anymore. That's toxic masculinity. That's a phrase that is developed to take away and to attack manhood. Like there is something wrong with being a man, because they know that there is no society that can survive without strong men.
Tell it. That's right.
And then they tell women there's something wrong with you if you don't support these crazy modern blue-haired feminists who are squealing about everything. I want nothing to do with you because you're not even a strong woman.
Nope.
Right?
Right. That's right. Speak on it.
The second Vice President Pence defeated Kamala Harris on points. What did they do? What did they do? Sexism, misogyny, right? That's weakness. That's weakness. We need strong women and we need strong men, but most importantly, we need strong families. We are facing an epidemic in the minority community of broken down families, rotted by a welfare system that was put into place by avowed racists, and a welfare system that knocked on the doors of homes, of minority homes, and said, we are the government, we're here to help. The government is never here to help, right? We are the government and we will give you more money if your black father does not live in the home, if your father is outside of the home. This is why the curse in minority America is father absence. It's kids growing up. It's the baby mama culture. It's the WAP culture. Let me tell you something. I'm not trying to be cool to hang out with these rappers.
No.
That culture has destroyed our community.
It's a losing culture. It's a losing culture.
Talking about empowerment as a woman, because you take your clothes off, you feel empowered. If you have to take your clothes off to be heard, you are not empowered. You are enslaved. Okay? We see this every day, and they will tell you, "Oh, well, you don't understand black culture. You don't understand Latino culture. You don't understand." I'm not trying to understand this. I don't want to read a book on how you've confused enslavement with empowerment. Stop pretending, by the way, that what we see today in America amongst these athletes, amongst these singers, amongst these stars is what culture always was to the minority community. When I grew up, and I grew up in my grandparents' house, we were listening to the Temptations. Okay? Men that were wearing suits
and ties,
dancing a little bit like this, singing about family. Diana Ross, the Jackson 5. These people were not singing about putting their bodies out. They weren't dressing in the way that we are told that women have to dress. And they commanded respect. They cared about family values. They want to convince us that the problem and the reasons and the statistics that exist that show that there is a disparity between white and blacks and whites and Latinos exists because of some crazy idea that there's systemic or racism and oppression. No, there's not. There is a broken culture. A broken culture that we are never going to get ahead of unless we have brave minorities like the people here today that are willing to speak up, speak out, and tell the truth.
That's right.
We are now the problem. We have to fix it. We don't need to look externally.
That's right.
We know how to get ahead in this country. This is the freest country in the entire world.
Right.
You have to work hard. You have to stay out of trouble. You have to make good decisions. You have to Keep your family. Don't have children out of wedlock if you can. That increases your chances of not living a life of poverty, right?
Right.
These are basic decisions that impact all Americans, no matter what color you are. Do not fall for the propaganda and the lies and the brainwashing of the media, right? People are telling you to be afraid of COVID-19 because it's killed 200,000 people. Well, I have a bigger fear. It's called socialism. It's killed 100 million people in the last 100 years. And they're trying to bring it to America.
No, we won't let them.
If I catch COVID-19, I'll survive that. I know I'll survive that. I'm young, right? I probably won't survive the socialist country that the left is trying to build, right? Which gives the government full power, full money, and people actually believe this stuff, that everything can be free. I know, where are my Cuban Americans, right? You guys know what socialism has done. People, the Venezuelans know what socialism has done. Do not let them bring that satanic notion to this free and beautiful and blessed country. You guys, Larry Elder just got here, so I'm going to jump off and let him speak to you. But I do want to say this. If you have not yet on your phone filled out your waves for the White House, you need to fill it out. So you all got an invitation to the White House. Find it. Make sure you fill it out. Also, make sure you have your ID. I'm sure you do, but just triple checking. You won't get allowed in. And after Larry Elder speaks, we do have pizza because we need some energy before we go in and tear up the White House.
Yes, we do, baby.
Show the media that they do not own minority Americans in this country.
That's right.